Now it is time to learn about the reverse of the thing we were doing before. This should come as no big surprise. It should be very, very simple because it's just the same exact skill, right? So before, maybe you had 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 all written out, and then you had to come up with this thing. Well, now, what happens if you're given this? Well, the question is going to ask you something to the effect of, write this out in multiplication form. Yes? So, 9 to the power of 6, if we write it out in multiplication form, it's going to look like this. We got 6 9s, and they all have multiplication signs in between them. Yeah? So, here's the idea of this. In math, we're going to talk a lot about doing and undoing, right? In this case, you can go from 9 to the power of 6 to 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9, right? Or you can go from all this to this. And the one, it does a thing, and then you can undo the thing. And it's sort of like a cycle. The questions, like I said, this one's going to ask, write this in multiplication form. Boom, multiplication form. How do you know it's multiplication form? Because it has multiplication signs in it. Isn't that super simple? This version is going to ask you, write this in exponent form or exponent notation, right? That's what we've seen before. When you see all this and it says exponent form, you got to turn it into this thing. How do we know? Because this is the thing that has the exponent. That little orange 6 up there, that's our exponent, all right? So that's the idea, doing and undoing. The key point here is that this is one skill altogether. It's not like 2 different skills, it's not 17 different skills that you have to remember and then panic about. This is just one big skill. It's one whole, conglomerate thing. Okay, let's practice. If we had 14 to the power of 3, how would we write that in multiplication form? We would write it like this, 14 times 14 times 14. 3 14s, multiplication signs in between them. What if we had g to the power of 9? How would we write that? We would write it like this, g times g times g. Okay, 9 g's, boom. And then we put multiplication signs in between, right? Cool. What if we had 2 to the power of 11? You guys are real pros at this point. We would write 11 2's, and we would put multiplication signs in between them. Okay, write this out in multiplication form. That's what this means, all that jazz. Now remember, when you're doing exponent form, you just count all these things up and put that number there. That's our exponent. When you're doing multiplication form, you just write out 11 2's and put multiplication. Again, it's all just counting. You count to 11, then you count to 11. Same thing, right? Okay, and last but not least, what happens if you have 6 to the power of 1? How do we write that out? We're just going to write the number 6. You write 6 one time, and then you put multiplication signs in between. Well, there's no in between, so there we go. 6 is our final answer over there. So, using this amazing knowledge, let's practice.